What is up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Pull Up with Myles and Owen. Today, we welcome a guest who we've wanted to have on the show for a long time. We got to talk to her briefly in Miami a few weeks back, but now we welcome her to the show. The reigning WNBA Sixth Player of the Year with the Atlanta Dream, a University of Michigan legend whose jersey now hangs in the rafters, and one of your favorite soulmates with the Laces Basketball Club at Unrivaled, Naz Hillmon. Thank you so much for joining us. How's it going?
Thank you for having me. I'm great. Just finished some practice and glad to be on with you guys.
We have to start with that jersey retirement, with what that experience was like for you, and also seeing pictures of Ryan, Leash, and Jordan, a Wildcat, a Gamecock, and a Bruin, all repping Michigan blue. How did that go down? And just what was that entire day like for you?
Yeah, it was such an amazing experience. Like something that I can't even truly still put into words. Like it's kind of set in, but like not completely. I keep telling people like prior to this year, they retired a couple of jerseys, but prior to this year, like the last retired jersey was like Glenn Rice. Like it's been a while, and there's not very many jerseys up there, so it's just unreal. And I didn't know if my jersey was going to go up there because there is very slim pickings around there. But I mean, just an amazing experience. Like going back and seeing so many familiar faces, like the ushers who usually make sure we got to the floor. Like I got to see them, so that was awesome. And I feel like I got close to them over my years. And then of course my teammates being there, they're so supportive of me and just each other in general. Rye always makes sure she tries to get a jersey, so that's how she got the jersey. She just took it from me, and then Leash and Jordan, they like found their gear, which I was surprised. I thought maybe they would just wear a blue or it's maize, but a yellow, and go about it. But I really appreciated them coming out. Obviously, knowing Leash, she just came from the one-on-one tournament the night before, like. There would have had to be a lot for them not to show up for me, and I just that means the world to me. So it was great having them there.
I love that so much. And there are not a lot of double zeros that have been retired in sports.
Mm-hmm.
What is the backstory of that jersey number?
So there's not really a ton there. I got it in AAU, and one of my teammates wanted to switch with me. She had like 44 and I had 00, so she was like, I always wanted 00, whatever. So we swapped jerseys. So I ended up wearing 44 and she had 00. And we both played terrible. I said, you know what? I don't want any other jersey ever again. I'm going to wear 00. Most people don't wear it, so I know I'll always have 00. Like, it'll be fine. So I just kind of rocked with it because it's unique. And for the most part, I would always be able to get that jersey number.
Have you had any conversations with Jackie Young about the 0 and 00 being on the same squad?
So I've always wondered if you could do that because I know obviously all the other numbers. I'm like, is it the same? It's like a 1 and an 11. But when I saw that Jackie was able to have her number and I was to have mine, I was like, okay, perfect. Like that works out great because I really wasn't sure. I didn't know, right? Is it the same? Different, but So
Refs are just super confused when they have to like call a foul.
Just to, whatever.
One of the people you shouted out in your fantastic speech was Kim Barnes-Arico, and you mentioned having conversations that would end up lasting like an hour with her. I'm just curious where some of those conversations would go. Obviously, there's the basketball stuff, but she seems like someone who cares about her players off the court and someone who can just talk to people as people, not just like basketball players.
Yes, and that was the problem. Not the problem, but we're supposed to be talking about basketball, like the game before, and now she wants to know how classes were, like how my family is. Like she always asks about my family, like my parents, my niece. Like she keeps up with all those things whenever I see her. So she just always, like you said, it's more than basketball for her. Like she wanted us to grow as people and as women. So there was always those questions beyond the court. But sometimes it would be conversations about how we could have been better in this game, or how I can help my teammates be better, or how I can bridge a gap. So there was so many conversations. Like I said, it was supposed to be a 5-minute check-in, just saying, hey, coach, and then I'm there and making practice late because we're just up there chit-chatting. But like you said, just like so much more than just basketball. Love her.
Speaking of family, we love when players come on who've got siblings, who've got parents who played, just asking about what the competitive vibes were like growing up in the household. Were there crazy pickup games? What was that like?
Yeah, so there wasn't too many like crazy pickup games, but there's always like battle of like what everyone has done, right? So for a long time in high school, Well, I won a championship at my high school my junior year. So before then, my mom had a championship. My aunt had like four. My uncle had one. Like my other aunt had one. So it was like you can't sit at the big kids table until you have a championship in high school. So I'm just like, dang, like y'all won those so long ago. Nobody wants to hear about those championships. But then once I got mine, I'm like, I'm at the big kids table. I'm sitting with you guys, like it's good. And then me and my mom kind of go back and forth because every time I go on a podcast or anything, they're like, who's better, you or your mom? Or they ask my mom sometimes. Um, and I'm like, in high school, like maybe she was better based off of her accolades, but college, I would say I was better based on my accolades. So that a little bit of that battle. And then my brothers played, and they want to get on the court and try to bully me, but I'd be bullying them. They won't tell anybody that. Actually, when I went home for a little bit, me and my little brother played ones, and I went easy on him, which was a mistake because now he thinks he beat me in one-on-one. So there's that.
Do you now have to hang a jersey over the big kids table at this point?
I should. That's such a good point. I'm going to literally for everyone. I'm going to be like, y'all can't sit at the jersey retirement, the college jersey retirement table. So how about that?
Yeah, the bar has been raised.
It has
the bar has been very raised.
The banner, the jersey, the bar, all of it raised.
How well do you remember that state championship game? That's got to be such a cool moment. Was it a close game? Was it a blowout? Like what were
it was a crazy game. It was a close game. I think it wasn't like a buzzer beater or anything like that, but definitely like it took the last couple of seconds to like really be like, okay, we won the game. And that was just like a crazy experience because it was a hard fought game. Literally, I remember like once the buzzer went off, I just like collapsed in the middle of the floor, and like all of my teammates like came over and like dog piled. It was just like such a special moment, and like I remember parts of it, but it feels like forever ago. And I also probably like blanked out midway through. I don't know because I was just like in a mode. But yeah, state championship my junior year.
You at Michigan majored in communications and media, and you got to join the broadcast at Unrivaled last night. Did such a fantastic job, or not whenever it was. Yeah. All the days are blending together at this point. But how was that experience for you? Is that something that comes naturally to you, or like did you get nervous before going on the show? Because it's so different, I would imagine, than going on the court to play a basketball game.
Yes, it was a great experience. I think who I was, Lisa and Brendan, they were great at throwing some lobs for me, making it super easy. But I did some commentating after my rookie season in the W. I did some Big Ten commentating, which I really did enjoy. Something that I may look into down the line. Not sure. I want to play basketball for as long as I possibly can. But it's nice. I really do enjoy it because it's a way to look at the game from a different lens. And another thing that I want to do post play is coaching. So I feel like it's a way to like see the game, see the plays, how everything is developing, kind of get an insider of what each team is trying to do and whether or not they're able to execute it. And then obviously I was able to talk about myself a little bit. So that was the easy part. But I enjoyed it. It went by really fast. Like I was nervous. I will say that I was nervous because I didn't know how much I wanted to talk about or how much I was going to talk about the game or how many questions they were going to ask. And I just wanted to be on point because I know they do such a great job. And I wanted to flow seamlessly in there. Also seeing some of the other players get on there, they've been awesome. So I didn't want to be the one off to like stink it up. So I was a little bit nervous about that, but I enjoyed it.
I think it was super helpful. And obviously Brendan and Lisa are such pros, but like that you have so many dream teammates. So they can ask you about whoever's on the floor and chances are you're going to have, like you talked about Ryan's defense and stuff like that. So helpful to be well represented on the court there.
Absolutely.
We love when guests say something that makes a smooth transition for us. So you said that you want to look into coaching to see the game through a different lens. That's our transition to talking about your photography habit, because that's really seeing the game in a different lens. You started a page last year, and it's such a cool way that it looked like you documented your W stops along the way too. Where and how did that passion start, and what appeals to you so much about photography?
Yeah, so it started from like a youngish age, I guess, like middle school, where I just like had my phone, and I would just take pictures, whether it be just like flowers that I thought were really nice, or like the morning dew on the grass, and I would go and edit them. And I just really enjoy taking like those type of pictures and just appreciating nature. And then in high school, I actually took a photography class, and it was film. So I was able to take the photos on film, develop it, print out the pic, like all of the things. So it was an appreciation for film for sure, but just also that appreciation of like you have one moment to capture it because it's on film. Like you can't just keep snapping, or like on the iPhone, I guess, keep snapping 100 pictures. But I just really enjoyed it from that. And then my mom got me a camera for Christmas last Christmas, I guess it is now. And I just wanted to dive deeper into it and try to figure out, like, I feel like I'm still an amateur. Like, I'm still trying to figure out all the settings and all the things that goes into it. But I really enjoyed it. And I have kind of documented my stops from the W season. It's nice to get out of the hotel room. Like, it's really what that does for me, is just being able to kind of see the city that we're in. Because for me, I'm honestly one of those people, I'll order in and I'll stay inside of the hotel room until the game. But now I, walk a little bit, get some fresh air, see what the city is like, and it's just nice that I'm able to do something that I love while I'm doing those other things. So it's a little bit of a break from basketball or like whatever is going on, because as you guys know, things move so fast in the summer that it gives me an opportunity to just like appreciate where I'm at, and take it all in, and then go back and edit it later down the line. So I really enjoyed it.
You have such a great eye. Is that something that you feel like you've developed even over the last year when you're doing this, walking around other cities more, or from classes back in high school that you learned techniques that now are still kind of sticking with you?
Yeah, I feel like it's a little bit of both. I think the biggest thing is just really figuring out what I like to take pictures of. And for me, I really like architecture. So I feel like New York was a really good spot for me in terms of that, but also nature, flowers, whatever else. So I do think that part of it is like the technique from high school, and then now it's just like what I really want to grasp and what I want to fit into the frame, and how I want one thing to pop or another. And I'm trying to figure it out on the editing side. I'm really, really new on that, but I'm finding some nuance in that as well.
I think it's so cool how it's well documented how much of a grind the travels of being a professional basketball player are. But to see that other side, the opportunity of getting to see cities in a different way, what have been some of your favorite travel moments or things you've been able to see, whether it's documenting, photography wise or just in general?
Yeah, I think New York was one of those places where I'm not going to lie, and I know I don't want hate for this, but I'm not a big New York fan. It's just a lot going on, guys. I'm not going to lie.
No, that's fair. That's fair. There is a lot going on here.
There's a lot going on. So, I was able to still find an appreciation for it because of their buildings, because of the people there. I was able to, I don't know which bridge I walked over, but I walked across the bridge, and then I was able to take some pictures from that. Even, we were in Minnesota for a long time, and I'm not very familiar with Minnesota, but being able to kind of see, whether it's finding new restaurants because I'm just, kind of walking around, or seeing that there was a baseball, whatever it is, just kind of things that I probably wouldn't have known if I was just sitting in my hotel room. So being able to just, like I said, just take it all in and see a different side of a city that I may not have known just by getting off the bus or getting off the plane and going right to the hotel.
We are a very New York podcast, as evidenced by Myles' Yankees hat, but I will say, I am constantly overstimulated and having anxiety by living here, so I totally get it.
It's a different place, but what's funny about that is, every time I say, oh, I'm not a big New York fan, everybody's like, oh, well, I have to take you here, So I'm like, there's 7 different boroughs that I have to go to now so that I appreciate New York, apparently, and I never know which one I'm in, so, people are like, oh, where do you stay when you're in New York? And I'm like, I stay near the arena. I don't know where I'm at. Now I have 7 different boroughs that I'm supposed to go to so that I can and appreciate New York. So
we take it as a challenge. That's the thing.
I guess so. I'm waiting on it.
When you heard that Carl Smesko was going to be the head coach of the Atlanta Dream, did you think immediately back to the tournament game in college? Was that the immediate recollection that came up?
Yes, it was. That's exactly what it was. I'm like, oh, I get to talk about how I beat my head coach. That's so fun. So that's definitely the first thing that came to mind, for sure.
What was it like going against his? Because obviously, I think like he gets pigeonholed into, oh, he has a system and he likes to shoot a lot of threes, and it's a lot more nuanced than that. There are a lot more layers to his coaching. But what was it like having the experience of playing that game and seeing what it's like to play against a Carl Smesko team, and now to be a part of one?
Yeah, I mean, it still makes a lot of sense. Like, I do think that he has things that he really wants to hone in on, but like you said, there's so much more than just shooting threes. Obviously, while he was at FGCU, he didn't get a lot of big players in terms of, when I'm saying big, like height-wise. So that was one of their advantages, being able to shoot teams out of the gym, but their defense also was really important. Like they had to figure out ways to guard bigger players, which at the time was me. And funny enough, when we were talking about it, he was like, yeah, we were supposed to get you in foul trouble, but they weren't calling them. You were running our girls over. And I'm like, oh, coach, I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about that. But it, like you said, there's just so much more to it. Like, obviously it's the shooting threes, but it's the movement without the ball. It's being able to set up your teammates off of cuts. Like, it's a lot of reads that you have to make sure you're on time and on target with. And then defensively, figuring out a way to find your best advantage defensively, whether you have to double or it's one-on-one, or making sure you're good in the ball screens. So it is funny that a lot of what I saw playing against him is the same, but obviously you have to tweak it a little bit coming from college to the W.
That all makes a ton of sense, especially because lots of threes means long rebounds, means cross matches and transition, and communication has to be at the top. Otherwise, it's just not gonna work. Mm-hmm. But I know that you've been asked, and Brendan brings it up all the time on the broadcast, your 53 threes that you made last year. And I did pull together a couple of my favorite stats about your 3-point growth and evolution.
Okay.
Because, yeah, after you had one in your first 3 years as a pro, you had 53 last year. Mm-hmm. But across 4 years and 3,632 minutes in college, you shot 6 total threes. Last season, per 40 minutes, you attempted 5.9. So almost as much as your entire college career.
That's crazy. Crazy.
And then among W players, your jump in three rate was the highest in WNBA history among players with 200 plus minutes.
Wow.
So it wasn't just the confidence that he instilled in you and that the work that you put in yourself, but it really is historic, the growth that you were able to see. And now looking at that and carrying that into a very, very open format like Unrivaled, mm-hmm. What have you learned about your game and your adaptability?
Yeah, I think the first part of like the adaptability, I mean, it wasn't an easy transition by any means. Like it was a struggle. Like it was something that I wasn't used to. Like I'm really big on like knowing what I feel that I know, doing what I know that I do well, and trying to bring those things to my team. And a lot of times that's the rebounding, that's the hustle, that's the energy plays, that's the effort. And not to say that threes don't fall into that category, but threes don't fall into that category. So it was like, okay, I'm doing something that I've never done in a system that I'm not used to. And just like, first of all, was finding the spots. Like, I didn't think I was open when coach was telling me to shoot the ball. He's like, shoot the ball. I'm like, they're right here. And he's like, they're literally at the free throw line, so you need to shoot the ball. And I think being able to get over that mental block was like the first part of it. Because I don't think that I ever thought that I couldn't shoot. It just wasn't something that was repped a ton and that I was confident in. So finding that confidence was huge, but also continuing the reps. We got in a lot of shots during the season. Just making sure that I felt comfortable, I felt confident. We could tweak anything that we needed to throughout the season. And coach did a really good job of not trying to change everything. I think sometimes when you're with someone trying to help you shoot, they want to change your feet and your arm and your shoulders and your sight. I don't know. There's just so many things that can be changed, but if we were able to just tweak a few things, and that went a long way. But I think that's a testament to like the work that I was willing to put in, and that I'm continuing to do here at Unrivaled, and being able to continue to take the next shot even if I miss 5. Like, and that is another hard part where I'm just like, and coach told me in the beginning, he was like, you have to be comfortable with missing 5 and taking the next one. And I'm like, I won't even take the next one if it's a layup. Like that, like 5 in a row is crazy. But like that belief and that confidence that he had in me, I feel like has definitely carried on into this off season. And I remember those cues, that he talked about, and I try to put that out here on the floor as well.
What are some of the specific parts of the technique and the pointers that you've been given if you're like straying a little bit and then it's like, we need to, what are the things that you're really trying to zero in on from a technique and form perspective?
Yeah, so one of the first things is just making sure that I'm ready. Like sometimes if you're just not ready for the ball, you're not like in your like hands ready, like being kind of down into your stance. And if you're just trying to shoot the ball and standing up, like for someone who is still working on it, like that's just not going to work out. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm down and ready for those shots. And then also my follow through, I get kind of wide sometimes, and I need to like keep it close. So those are the two things that I really try to focus on. And it's funny, like if I after the game, obviously all of our pictures come through, and if I start seeing myself like this, I'm like, I know I missed that shot, so I need to tighten it up a little bit. So
can it still be posted on the gram if you know?
Nah, I don't need my coaches talking about, Steve, this is not good form. So I keep those to the back. At least I try to anyway. Unless I know I made it, then maybe.
I think one of the coolest parts of your 3-point evolution too is that the 2-point efficiency remains incredibly elite. And you talked about this a little bit when we talked to you in Miami about how you're seeing closeouts now in a way that might not have happened previously, especially in the 3-on-3 free-flowing format of Unrivaled. What has that been like, seeing those driving lanes get even wider and forcing the help to come over, trying to keep attacking the basket?
Yeah, that's another part of the growth that I'm still trying to work through, because I'm finding that balance of like, okay, maybe I missed the shot, so I still can't take this three or get downhill, which I think is it's an evolution. But it is nice that here the like you said, the lanes are wider because there's 2 less people on the floor. So I think it's going to help my transition back into fives of like seeing those lanes, and then now maybe may not be a layup, now it may be a kick, because of the extra help that's coming over. So I think that's definitely going to be a part that is going to be super helpful for me down the line, because it is nice that teams are closing out. Like you said, those driving lanes may not have been open because they were a little bit farther back based off of my shooting percentage. So it's nice to be able to continue to develop and evolve my game because I'm shooting the three more.
We talked at the top about the friendships that you've made and the close friendships, and that's well documented across socials. But with Rye, it goes back to that U19 team back in 2019. What were your experiences like then? And did you have a foundational friendship that then you were able to kind of pick up once you were pros, or did you stay in touch throughout?
Yeah, so yes, we were teammates for 3 summers for USA. And because our names are Howard and Hillman, we always ended up rooming together. So we got kind of close from that, and like we definitely did stay in contact. Like if she had a big game at Kentucky, like I would text her, she would text me, random FaceTime. So we were very familiar with each other. And then obviously getting drafted, it was just like what better opportunity, right? Like first of all, a lot of people don't even go into their season with another rookie. Like sometimes your rookie mates, I guess, they don't make it throughout this. There's a lot of things that happen in W with rookies. So it was awesome that I was able to go with somebody that I was very familiar with, and had a great relationship with, because we were able to lean on each other, which I think was just so special and very meaningful, because it was a quick turnaround. We came into the league when there was a world championship at the end of the year, so everything was kind of condensed. Like we had the draft, and I swear I feel like 2 days later I was in Atlanta, and then it was training camp, and then it was games. Like I tell people all the time, I didn't realize I was a pro athlete until the end of the year, because everything just moved so fast. But it was nice that I had someone to grow with it, grow through everything with, and lean on, and like kind of bounce ideas or thoughts or whatever. Obviously, in my rookie year, we were in different points in terms of playing, but we knew the grind of what we had come from college to then being in the pros. So definitely a relationship that we've had for a long time, and it's just grown over the years.
That's such a cool experience, because we've talked to a lot of young players on this pod, and a lot of them say the same thing, where it wasn't until that first off season that you can actually like exhale because you've just been moving nonstop since before your senior year of college. And having a rookie along with you really does seem like it would smooth that journey, but one that you're friends with, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask about Leash and how you experienced that one-on-one tournament, because that was a grind. And that was a grind watching from home on my couch, but I can only imagine what your experience was like watching one of your close friends go through that gauntlet.
Yes, it was crazy. Like I was in Michigan by that time of the last game. But I'm just like, my girl is tired. That was one of the first and she killed in the first segment. And I'm just like, Leash is a hard worker. Like, she does all the things that she needs to. She well prepares herself. So I was just so stressed because I wanted her to win so bad. But I mean, it was one of those things where it was like, whoever makes this next shot, like, it is what it is, and you have to go through it. But like, I was sitting there watching it as if I had money on the line. So very stressful. But like, was super proud of her regardless, because I think that she put her best foot forward, and she did what she needed to do.
It was such a representative like finish. I felt like, whereas like one of them literally had to slip and fall for the game to end.
Literally.
They were leaving it all out there.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Just to close the loop here, it really does seem special and unique, the friendship that's been forged among these dream teammates. What is so unique about this group of players that you've been able to build such a special bond with, where you're hanging out off the court and just enjoying one another's company?
Yeah, I think what's so interesting but also special is like, we're all very different, but we find a common ground of just like being good people, and you just like wanting to have a good time and being around each other. As we know, like, the season is long and there's hard parts throughout the season, and it's so refreshing to have people that you really enjoy and you want to be around every day, because it doesn't feel like a job, it doesn't feel like a grind. And with that friendship, like, when there are tough times, you're able to have those tough conversations. Like, those tough conversations are hard to have when you don't have a relationship. So it's nice that we're able to, like, obviously laugh, joke, have a great time, but also like, when we need to get after each other, like, we can do that, and still be best friends. 10 seconds later, or going to get food 10 seconds later. Like, it's that balance that's really nice to have, of like, we can laugh and play and joke, but we can also lock in, while also like doing the thing that we all love.
We like to end on a fun note with a non-basketball question. Shout out to Dory Harrison, who started this trend on our podcast. If you were to put your music streaming app on shuffle, whatever you use, who are the artists that are most likely to pop up?
It would probably be Drake, Party Next Door, and SZA probably would be the top three. That's flowing from there. Yeah.
Love that. SZA's been a staple in my Spotify Wrapped every year. She's
good.
She's the best.
Yeah.
When we were down at Lace's practice, you had said that Slim had kind of like snuck her way onto the aux that day. Who's the biggest, I guess, offender for that? Who's just gonna like make sure their music is heard?
It's probably Slim. So we like do a DJ of the day. Our coaches pick a DJ of the day, and like, we all try to like not do it. So if anybody were to try to do it, it probably would be Slim. So yeah.
Naz, thank you so much for taking the time. We had a great time talking to you. This has been, like Owen said at the top, a conversation we wanted to have for a long time, and I loved it. And thank you so much, and good luck in the playoffs.
Thank you. I really appreciate you guys having me on. I had a great time as well.
Thank you. That's it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening to Pull Up with Myles and Owen. We are so grateful for every download, for every time y'all like and subscribe to the show. If you want even more from us, please subscribe to our Patreon page, Step Back with Myles and Owen, for some very exciting bonus content, a little bit of a chiller vibe where we're just chatting about everything in the women's basketball space. We're talking uncut interviews with players, in-depth analysis of the women's basketball game as we approach March Madness, the Unrivaled playoffs, WNBA season, if there is a season, if there is a season, if there isn't a season, we're going to be talking about it either way.
You can follow Pull Up with Myles and Owen and leave a rating and review for us on your podcast player of choice, and follow the podcast on Instagram at Pull Up with Myles and Owen. And also, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. We're trying to build that up too. You can not just listen to us, but you can watch our faces too. We're there at Pull Up with Myles and Owen. And you can follow me on Twitter at Myles Ehrlich.
You can follow me on Twitter at Owen Pence. Follow our guy and fellow host and producer extraordinaire, Kevin Kdot Lewis at Kdot3H. Stay tuned. We'll see you next week.
Pull Up with Myles and Owen is hosted by Myles Ehrlich and Owen Pence. This episode was written and produced by Myles Ehrlich, Owen Pence, Molly Socha, and Kevin Kdot Lewis. Molly Socha is our executive producer. And a special thank you to Tish Carmona and Tori Newman down at Unrivaled for making this interview happen, and of course to Naz Hillmon for sharing her time with us.